list? Question mark.
So
yeah, why don't you tell us about this list that you picked?
Our top 5 most hated cliches. I got this shit, dude.
I'm sure you have 1,000.
Yeah, well, it's like the thing is like after I announced this on the last podcast, I finished this list that day. That's how much I was so confident in my list. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the thing is that my honorable mentions are basically cliches that I see in films and they annoy me. But they don't necessarily like take down a star for me if the story is good or whatever. But my top 5 most hated cliches actually take like a star down for me.
Okay.
Like they take stars off of my actual rating because I'm just sick of seeing them. I hate them. Blah 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 blah. You know, this was kind of unfortunately kind of like just by the byproduct of the list, it's kind of a heated, kind of angry list.
Okay.
You know, so I'm gonna try and like cool it. I'm gonna try and cool it.
Okay, so
and we'll see what happens.
I don't have anything like that. In fact, I don't have like a lot of them that like annoy me to the point where like I can't like I don't have a formula for rating shit. Okay. In all honesty, I really don't. Mm-hmm. So this list was not that. There's not a lot on here. I'm gonna be honest. I think I have 2 honorable mentions.
Okay, go ahead.
You probably have 1,000.
Not like 1,000, but I got a lot.
And I guess none of these are like this is a major detriment to the film. Mm-hmm. It can be, but I've also seen all of these things work in the film's favor. So okay. So let's see. Do you want me to start first?
Just put your 2. Just put your 2 out there.
Okay. The bad guy is never dead. Whether they are completely obliterated or stabbed 1,000 times, an action or horror villain just always gets back up. Mm-hmm. It's kind of annoying, but it's like, I can live with it sometimes.
Okay.
And the other one is the What Happened to Them title cards. It's just kind of completely uninspired. It doesn't sufficiently end a story arc unless it's a documentary. Show us. Don't tell us.
Okay, yeah. Okay, we actually saw a movie that did that.
Yes, we did, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is why I kind of, like, when it happened, I just started, like, smiling and, like, put my hand over I'm like, okay.
Okay. All right, first thing for me, touching through the interrogation... Oh, God, I can't talk. Touching through the interrogation police glass, or like the phone call police glass. When the character has to put their hand up, and then the other character from the other side puts their hand up so they can touch each other. This has been done to death, dude. It's in whenever there's a setup for that to happen, where they're talking to each other on the phone, whatever, through glass. That always happens.
That's so funny that you say that, because you know what movie does this?
What?
If Beale Street Could Talk.
I knew it! I saw that in the trailer. I saw the fact that they were doing it, and I knew they would do it. I'm sick of it, dude. They did it in Justice League. They've done it in Beale Street Could Talk. The movie that didn't really bother me was with First Man, because it's a little subtle. It's not a police situation. It's just like a kind of a containment situation, mm-hmm. And it's kind of more subtle because it's more like their fingers just sort of touching.
It's so cute, dude.
It's cute, and they've been separated for so long, and now that they're so close together again,
it's like they could he finally there's like a mission completed, and it's like, okay, we can get back on track.
Right, exactly. And but dude, every time I see a scenario. Someone puts their hand up to the freaking glass, and then the other person puts their hand up. It's super annoying to me. All right. Next one, and this one is insane to me that you just have never, like, even thought of this. The giant blue beam in the sky. I looked this up, dude. There are articles and articles. Even on listchallenges.com, there's just a list of movies that have had these. I'll just name a couple right now. Amazing Spider-Man, Atlantis, The Avengers, Avengers: Age of Ultron, Big Hero 6, Captain America: The First Avenger, Chronicles of Narnia, Voyage of the Dawn Treader. There's been so many of this. Suicide Squad has had one too, mm-hmm. where or Iron Man even had one, where there's like something happening. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is another one. They're just coming to me as I'm talking, like for real. There's a scenario where some dude has this device, usually the bad guy has this device on top of a building, on top of a skyscraper, and then something happens to where this giant blue beam shoots up into the sky, and that's causing the problem to happen. I know they try to create immediate danger from it, but it's super cliche and it needs to stop. It has died down recently because after Suicide Squad did it, everyone was complaining about it and saying, oh my god, I can't believe they're doing this again. So thank god that cliche has kind of died out. Oh, another thing, speaking of dying out, some of these cliches, like bad guys not looking at explosions, like those old cliches, I haven't seen those cliches in a very long time, so I didn't put those like on my list, you know, because I haven't seen them in a long time. These are cliches I still see today. Obviously, this next one I won't have to explain. It was all a dream / comatose state. Mm-hmm. You know, the whole like, I had a dream and you were there, and you weren't there. It's been done before. Tripping while walking / running in slow-mo. You're trying to make fun of another cliche, but in doing that, you just created another cliche. I hate that. Like in freaking Baywatch, when like they're running in slow motion, I'm like, is someone gonna fall? Is someone gonna fall right now? And they did. They fall. Stop.
Oh, you're talking about the new one?
The new one, yeah, the new movie. They do this in Scooby-Doo. They do this in all these, like, just stop it, dude. It's not funny. We get it. You fell because you're supposed to be, like, cool. You created a cliche by making fun of another cliche. That's insane to me. The midway argument. You know, there's always that time when, especially in romantic movies, there always has to be that conflict where some dude and some girl get into a fight and whatever, but by the end of the movie they realize that they were meant for each other and that they can get past this midway argument and stuff like that. And you always have to go through the motions of that stupid arc of them arguing to them getting back together and realizing that they were meant to be together.
What's funny?
Yeah.
Is I didn't have that on there, but I totally should have.
Yeah.
Because I don't like that either.
Yes, I cannot stand that. I hate it. Chasing through the airport. I can't believe this is still a thing. I like Crazy Rich Asians. I do. But really, you're going to have, like, a dude chase someone through the airport and then, like, propose their love to the person they're chasing on the plane and stuff. And then, of course, everyone on the plane has to get up and clap.
That is so 90s.
It is 90s, and it's happened all the time. And it's still being done.
Let's go, Wedding Singer.
Yeah, right? It's still being done. Stop that, dude. All right. It was you all along. Whenever there's a character, something happens, maybe there's an antagonist or something, and this guy is chasing the antagonist throughout the entire film, but guess what? What's the twist, Tyler? That the protagonist was the antagonist all along. The Double, Fight Club. This has happened so many times. It was you all along.
See, that's not what I thought you meant when you said that. I thought it was like, oh, they had the person picked out, but then it's like, oh, it's actually this person.
Yeah, that happens too, but I'm talking more like the Fight Club thing. Where
okay.
I think Fight Club kind of started this whole thing where, you know, oh, we need to look for this serial killer. It's like the detective is like looking for the serial killer. Oh, wait, the detective is the serial killer. It's like, oh, come on, dude. Like, but it's like, because he's like mentally insane or something or unstable. He just doesn't remember it or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, it's enough. You know what film I did see recently, though, that kind of did this well? It's a very, very low-budget film. I think it's on Netflix. It's called Radius. You ever seen this film?
I've never even heard of it.
You should watch it. It's actually pretty interesting. Their revelation
well, no,
of,
I can't watch it because you already spoiled it.
Oh, yeah, you're right, kind of. The revelation of It Was You is actually kind of really well done. You should still watch it.
Okay.
The one-dimensional bullies. First of all, this is why I appreciate Spider-Man Homecoming. Because the bully, Flash Thompson, I liked the development with him because he's just like a collar-popping douchebag, like who's on the debate team, and he's just like some like rich asshole, you know? The trope of having these one-dimensional bullies that have no dimensionality to them, and they're just bullies to try and like kickstart, you know, the protagonist to go on their journey.
Well, I don't think they want to have any depth to a bully because...
But it's like you gotta add something. Like, you can't just portray like these bullies as like, because this doesn't happen. Like, kids don't like beat up, like beat the shit out of like these kids like this, you know? At least not so much anymore. You see it in Aquaman. I saw it in the Shazam trailer. It's just these bullies, even in It, but at least with It, they tried to develop him, you know, but that's another cliche in and of itself where the bully has like this bad home life or whatever. It's kind of annoying. I don't like it. Oh, here's one. Man/woman walks into the spouse having an affair. Whenever there's like movie that has to kick off and there's like a divorce where like someone's heartbroken, you know, there's always that moment where for some reason instead of having the affair at a hotel or having the affair at the other person's house or whatever, they always have it in their own home while their freaking husband or wife is at work, right? While their husband or wife is at work, but they always get the timing wrong because the freaking husband walks in with flowers and he's like, "Honey, I'm," and it's like him with, you know, it's her with her freaking what's a mistress? I don't know what you know.
Okay.
You've seen this before.
No,
right?
yeah, I've seen it before.
Yeah, it's like there's always that moment where they're like, "Honey, I'm home." What was that Ben Stiller movie? The same thing happened. It's all about Mary.
Along Came Polly?
Along Came Polly, maybe.
Is it the one with Jennifer Aniston?
I don't know. I'm thinking about the one with Cameron Diaz.
Oh, yeah. So there's something about Mary.
There's something about Mary. It happened. This shit always happens. Honey, I'm home. Usually, like, bringing flowers or some shit. And it's a really cheap way to show that this guy got her and that this guy is, like, someone to root for. And this guy's, like, always nice. And, you know, it's just annoying. I hate when I see that.
I guess it's happened in a couple Ben Stiller films.
Yeah, it has. It's a cliche that plagues the movies, dude. It happens all the time.
Okay.
All right, next honorable mention. I haven't even gotten to the freaking things yet. All right, this is my last honorable mention. Forced backstory during argument. I've been seeing this a lot lately, where someone gets into an argument, like the protagonist and the love interest, let's say, and they just unload their backstory unnaturally into the argument.
Yeah.
Like, how dare you call me shallow? Okay, my dad died when I was 10, and then my mom ran away, and I was adopted by this foster family that kept beating me, and you're calling me shallow? You know, stuff like that. It's like, really? Even films I like, they do this. Like, Ready Player One did this when Artemis just, like, unloaded her backstory.
Again, this is something that I had a different vision of what you're talking about. I thought you meant, like, it actually shows the backstory and then goes back to the argument. Or, like, whatever. I thought you were, like, referring to something like Halloween where she's like, that's what I had to deal with all my life. And then it, like, actually shows her, like...
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that... I don't like that either, but... This one really annoys me. Okay. The whole forced backstory thing. I hate when people do that because it's so unnatural. It's like no one just unloads their life story in an argument like that. You know?
Yeah.
It's just weird. All right.
Or if they do it, it's like really subtle. Like if they just really, like, you know how, like, what happened to me. Like, really.
Right. I just like showing, not telling. So.
Yeah, I feel you.
All right, so it's time for...
Top five. Actual top five.
That's right. Are we ready to do rock, paper, scissors?
Yep. I can't wait to lose.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Every time.
I'm just gonna tell you right now. I'm just picking rock every time.
All right. My number 5, The Liar Revealed. We saw this in Ringo. You saw this in all these other films, but Ringo, for some reason, is the only one I can think of right now where this person goes through the motions of this lie, and then they keep getting deeper and deeper and deeper into the lie. And then midway through the film, or 75% into the film, it's revealed. It's like broadcasted to the world that this person was lying the whole time, and then everyone all of a sudden doesn't like him, and then he has to go through this mopey, sulky journey for him to realize, you know what? Maybe I'm not what I lied about. Maybe I'm not what I said I was, but I can be that thing. I can do something like that. I can do good. So he has to go back and fix all the problems, and then everyone eventually loves him for it again. It's super annoying.
Really? That's very specific.
What?
And I have no clue. Like, I can't even think of a single movie that does that.
Oh, dude, it happens all the time. It happens all the time. Here, look. It's even on TV Tropes. Liar Revealed. TV Tropes is a website about cliches.
Okay. But, yeah, I'm sorry that makes you feel so upset.
It's annoying. Okay, here we go. You ready? Here's a list.
Okay.
Waterboy, House Litter, never even heard of that film. Oz the Great and the Powerful, Yes Man, Galaxy Quest, Saw 3D, About Ellie, Where the Wild Things Are, Big Fat Liar, Force Awakens. That always happens. Force Awakens kind of did it differently, but you get my point.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No, I either haven't seen any of those movies or I just don't like those films. So
yeah.
I guess
the whole liar reveal thing, it's annoying.
Sure. Okay.
It happens.
So my number 5 is if there's a main girl and a main guy, they have to end up together.
Yep.
Why can't it just be platonic?
That's true.
I don't know. It just feels like the film industry just needs this in order to make a film feel for a specific type of people. Like, it's for a mainstream audience, they want to do that. Or if they have an action star or whatever, like, why is it that they always have to end up with a person? Why can't they just be, like, you know... Why can't they just be solo? I don't know. It's just, it kind of annoys me, but, like...
You know what film this reminds me of? The most egregious example of this?
Yeah. Well,
it's not even a great film, but there was a film called The Ugly Truth with, like, Jared Butler and, like...
yeah.
And what's her name? Catherine something?
Heigl.
Where... They were platonic for the entire film.
Yeah, they actually hated each other.
They hated each other, but he was just helping her get this other guy, and then they still ended up together. I'm like, what? Why didn't you just go? The movie wasn't great, but I would have given the movie some credit if she actually ended up with the guy, and then he ended up with somebody else, and they were just friends.
Here's another example. I mean, this movie did a really good job of, like, not wanting you to get back with the other person, but Silver Linings Playbook.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just kind of annoying, but it used to happen a lot more often than it does now, and I think that we're finally trying to move past it. But that's why, like, 90s movies kind of sucked for a lot of them.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, my number 4. You've seen this in almost every single romantic comedy, not even romantic comedy, any romance film. This always happens. Wedding Crashers, The Notebook. I'm sick of it. Cheating is okay if it's with the one you love. I hate this cliche, dude. This is so annoying. You know when there's, like, a woman who's, like, has, like, an arranged marriage or something like that, or she's, like, engaged or something, okay. And then they find, like, the one they really love. Maybe it's a person from her past, right? And then it's like, oh, but there's, like, this tug and forth, you know, but she finds her true love, you know, sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Oh, what was the one with Amy Adams, that terrible film? Leap Year.
Okay.
Again, The Notebook. This always happens. It's like, and usually another cliche, just to tack onto this one, is if this does happen, they usually try and make the fiance or the person she's cheating on, they try to make them like this one-dimensional asshole who's also cheating on the person. You know, they're also cheating on, like, the spouse.
To even the playing field.
To even the playing field, to make you not feel bad for this person. I hate that. See, now, the crazy thing is that The Notebook didn't do that. That guy... he was just a nice guy. James Marsden? Like, he was just a nice dude, and then Rachel McAdams was like, oh yeah, but I'm going to cheat on him with you, Ryan Gosling, because, you know, he's Ryan Gosling.
There is a film that actually, it was really hard to dissect it because of this specific thing. And that was Brooklyn. That came out a few years ago.
Never seen it.
Because the guy, they had this, like, Italian guy or whatever, and I thought that he was going to become a douchebag at some point, and then she goes back to her, like, hometown, and she starts seeing Domhnall Gleeson for a little bit, but, like, they're not, like, it's not, like, sexual or anything like that. It's just, like, they kind of go on dates, and there's like this little fling going on, but it's like, if they would have made, like, the Italian guy was super nice all the way through. He was, like, the nicest dude. And it's like, come on, why are you doing this?
Yeah, like...
Like, why are you doing this?
I hate this cliche.
And it was kind of nice, though, that they didn't make him out to be an asshole, because then it didn't make it seem like, oh, she has to fall in love with this other dude or whatever.
Right. To me, it's like two sides of the same coin. It's like, it's either cliche one way or another, but at like the whole crux of the thing, it's like straight up the same thing. Cheating is okay if you're cheating on the person with your one true love. And I'm like, I hate when I see that in films, dude. It's super, super annoying to me. All right.
So that's your...
I had something else to say, but... sorry, I remembered.
Yeah.
One film that I saw do this, like, greatly, because they actually went against that cliche. They addressed the cliche and went against it, was Drinking Buddies. With Jake Johnson and Olivia Cook. Where... I don't want to spoil it, but let's just say, like, you can see that there's chemistry between these two characters, but they each of them have a boyfriend and girlfriend. And they even set up the bad boyfriend, bad girlfriend thing. And yet they still didn't end up together. I'll just say it, whatever. You know?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to address it without saying it. They still didn't end up together. And they still did, they felt it, they wanted it, but they knew they couldn't cheat on their significant others.
Oh, okay.
And so they end up with...
So that was a good thing to you?
I think so, yeah, because it was different. It was something you haven't seen before. And
yeah,
that's just
it kind
the way
of goes
life is.
Against the grain.
It goes against the grain. And then they end up with the significant other that they started out with. And I'm like, okay, that's that's cool. Like that's a risk, and I like that.
All right, I dig it.
Mm-hmm.
My number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Henchmen can't hit shots. It can lead to cool action, but lately with something like John Wick, a henchman doesn't get the opportunity to take the shot, which is this is usually a good indicator you're in for a mindless romp, and the vice versa. Everyone else but the protagonist is worthless. Mm-hmm. All the trained assassins with the protagonist become throwaway characters.
Yep. And you know what's funny too? I always say this. I'm like, when the protagonist has just killed maybe like 50 of your men, what makes you, henchman number 51, say, yeah, you know what? He killed 50 of my friends, but I'm going to be the one.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the one. You know what film actually addressed that in a comedic way? It was Iron Man 3. That was one of the better scenes in that movie. When it's like Iron Man just like basically destroys all these henchmen in a room, and then another henchman walks in, points a gun at him. He's just like, you know what? I hate working here. They are so weird. And then he just runs away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah, no, it's... again, it's like a mindless romp, but like when you're gonna use it for like a serious movie, like don't do that. Don't do that.
The stormtrooper thing, no one can ever hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I got you.
So,
I got you.
Nah.
And you know what? All that kind of also reminds me of another cliche. The whole whenever there's a group of guys attacking some dude, even I'm not talking shit about Old Boy, but this even happened in Old Boy, where once you notice it, it's kind of distracting that everyone's just basically attacking him one at a time. Yeah,
that's something that was like in Ip Man.
Yeah, Ip Man. It's like, you could all just like pile on this guy and then it would be over.
Well, that film did it really well. Old Boy in particular is because they kind of separated it from like a what do they call those? It's like side scroller game. You know how it's like just 2-dimensional almost. And they would have him on one side and everybody else on the other side. That is a cool way of doing it, and nobody wanted to approach him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, plus you could also make the argument that they don't want to hit their friends. They want a clearer shot of
Yes, that is true too, because that's a very claustrophobic scene. That is actually one of, in my opinion, the best
action sequences it's like one of the best action sequences ever.
It is so draining, and it is so draining to the characters as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I'm not dissing on that, but that just happens a lot in action films where you usually get this guy who's like waiting, like by the side.
But since you brought it up about the whole what makes you think you're going to be the one to do it?
Yeah.
Is Ip Man when they're doing the 10 guys or whatever fighting him in a row, and then there's one more left. He's like, oh no, I really don't want to do this, but he still does it anyway, and he gets his shit rocked.
That's awesome. All right. Oh, I hate this one, dude. This one was almost my number 1.
Really?
Yeah.
And it somehow became number 3?
Number 3. The awkward first date. Do you want to get out of here? I hate that shit, dude. I've seen this so many times. I can't think of a lot of examples right now, but one that comes to my head is Daredevil. This always happens when the guy and the girl, they go out on like this first date and it's super awkward, and they're usually at like some fancy restaurant, right? And it's all awkward. They're like all stiff and whatever.
Yep.
And then the guy's always like, do you want to get out of here? And then, and then they go to like some like truck stop or like some 50s diner or some fast food place, some more like low key kind of place to kind of, get comfortable with each other. And then that's when they start to open up, stuff like that. I'm like, this shit just doesn't happen in real life. This is so dumb. I hate this cliche, dude. It's so annoying. And you know what's annoying about it is like this is like a newer cliche that's been happening in like the last 10 years. And you know what even annoys me more about it is that I said this shit doesn't happen, and guess what? It actually happened to one of my friends. I'm like, are you serious?
Oh,
my friend Nick went on a date with this girl, first date, right, to this like super fancy place, and he's like, you want to get out of here? And then they ended up eating gas station sushi on a park bench. And then that's when they opened up.
There you go. So it's a real thing.
But it's still annoying, man. I hate it. I hate seeing it all the time in films. I wonder if I just look this up. Do you want
to get out of here?
Do you want to get out of here? Like, and they always say that, dude. They always say that. I'm gonna see if like this. If I pioneered this cliche, or if like it seems like some people. Yep, seems like I'm the only one who like notices this cliche because I'm not really seeing it anywhere. I hate this cliche, dude. It's so annoying to me. It's like, just open up at the restaurant you're at. Because let me tell you something. When people are at a fancy restaurant and they're all dressed up, people aren't that uncomfortable. The uncomfortable part comes from being on a date. So the fact that you change locations doesn't make sense to me. The location shouldn't matter if you're uncomfortable on a date or not. It's just like, just open up on this date. And I love it when I see a first date scene in a movie where they're at some fancy place and then they just stay there and open up. Mm-hmm. That's the way it should be. Don't do this. Do you want to get out of here? Cliché. I hate that, dude.
No, I can tell you right now, our lists there's a lot of differences.
Yeah?
Yeah, you're seeing stuff that, like, I had to, like, look stuff up for a lot of this list.
Okay. Sorry, I just actually looked it up again.
Yeah.
And I just added movie cliché, and there's a whole list here of movies that
They do it.
That do it, yeah.
So it's a thing, I guess.
Yes, it is a thing. And I'm glad I'm not the only one who noticed it. It's freaking annoying. Anyway, go on. What's your number
3?
Trace.
Yeah. I know that you don't like this one, and it's probably in your top 2. Exposition machines.
Yeah.
When dialogue awkwardly sums up what happened to a person over a period of time, no one just says, "So you've been out of jail for 13 years now, huh?" Or
you know.
Or yeah. It's even funnier when the exposition has nothing to do with the rest of the premise.
Yeah.
Which happens quite often.
As you know, your mother died 20 years ago of leukemia. So it's like...
Yeah. It's like, it's weird when it starts off a conversation or whatever. Like, it's like, come on, man.
I can't believe I didn't think of that. I'll put that in my honorable mention.
Yeah.
Holy crap, you're right. I hate the as you know dialogue. It's so annoying. It's really lazy, too.
It is so lazy.
Is that it?
Yeah.
All right.
So were you going to, I thought you were going to look up a list or something
like
that.
No.
You look for your own good?
This is my number 2.
Okay.
I don't mind jump scares when they're effective, when there's a point to them. You know what I hate? False jump scares. Are we still doing this? Are we still doing the whole thing where a cat jumps out a frame? Velvet Buzzsaw. Are we still doing this? You know?
Okay,
it's super annoying.
At least Velvet Buzzsaw showed the cat before it happened.
That's true, right?
No, because usually it's just like people don't have a cat, and then they just do have a cat.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden cats just pop out. Like, we're in deep space and there's a cat all of a sudden. Like, what? I'm like, okay. Yeah.
Yep.
It's super annoying. It's not just that. It's the whole thing where there's like a character who's like, it's super intense, like he's looking out, and then for some reason their friend who's approaching them can't just say, "Hey, John," from 20 feet away. Instead, he has to grab his shoulder for some reason and have that fake jump scare sound effect. And he's like, "Oh, you scared me. You scared me." I'm like, really? It's like, who approaches friends like that?
And you can't hear them walking?
Yeah, you can't hear them walking. You can't, like, if I saw you, like, at a restaurant or something, and you were just standing there 10 feet away from me, I'd be like, "Hey, Tyler," you know, and then you would turn around. I wouldn't go up to you and just go like, "Dun." It's just something people don't do.
Yeah.
All right, and
I feel you.
I mean, when jump scares are effective, they're effective. When there's a thing to be scared by. When a demon jumps out at you, that's something to be scared by. Okay? When a person is just walking, like, if a person is just walking across the frame 20 feet away from the protagonist, you don't need a jump scare sound effect there. I think it's actually more creepy if there wasn't a jump scare and then you just see the person walking by. You know? You know,
there's one time where I feel like it does kind of work, though. This is the only scenario, is when, like, the phone rings.
Oh, yeah. No, I like that, too, when they use, like, an actual sound.
Yes.
To scare you. I think I was watching...
Like a natural sound.
Yeah. I was watching a review of Signs recently, and there's a jump scare there where they're, like, tending to the dog or whatever, and, like, it's a really quiet scene, and the dog just barks. You know, like, that's a jump scare, you know?
Yeah.
Or when, even in, like, the Lost City of Z, we just saw, like, freaking, like, a bow and arrow made me jump.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's, like, a scary thing. It's like, oh, wow, like, okay, we're in this now.
It happened out of nowhere.
So it does happen, but I hate the cliched false jump scares.
Yes, I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
My number 2, you already brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
It Was All a Dream.
Yes.
Rarely does this... Actually, this can dramatically bring down a movie for me. This can actually make or break a film.
Yeah.
But sometimes it really does work in its favor. Rarely does this pay off. Of course, the character learns something, but no consequences actually stick. This shows that the writers either wrote themselves into a corner or they just whipped something together real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, does it annoy me. But there's okay, this is not a movie, but Lost, it was like people didn't understand the ending of that show.
Yeah.
And no, it's not like it actually enhanced it, but people thought like, oh, just nothing actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
And no, you're wrong. You're wrong. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not gonna.
Okay.
I didn't mean to spoil the show, but no, it's not like this. That's not the ending of the show.
Okay.
I'm saying that's not.
I'm not gonna watch that show.
It's the best.
That's what I hear.
It's the best.
I just don't.
And I especially think you should watch it, being a man of faith, because it's about a man of science becoming a man of faith.
Oh, really? Okay.
So it's incredible. And I watched it with my friend Ty John. He's Christian too. He pointed out that almost every episode has like a very prominent moment from like the Bible that they took.
Oh, okay.
It's really good, dude.
Maybe I'll watch it. Okay.
It is the best show ever made.
Oh, dang. All
and
right.
Not a lot of people agree with me, but I don't care. It was also the first show I got into.
Okay, cool. J.J. Abrams.
Yep. That's my number 2.
All right, my number 2. All right. Who is my number 1?
Yep. I can't wait.
Oh, I think you already know. It's actually a tie.
It's actually a tie.
It's a tie between 2.
Okay. I don't know what it is, honestly.
Oh, once I tell you, you'll know.
Okay.
The animal dying cliche and the crazy religious person cliche. All right, let's start with the animal dying.
Okay.
The dog/cat/animal dying is just a really stupid way to just shock the audience. And I think it's so dumb, and it's a really cheap way to just throw gratuitous shock value at you while you're watching the movie. I'm sick of seeing it. And it got to the point now where, yeah, it makes you hate the character. It makes you, it elevates the sense of danger, and it makes you feel like shit. It makes you feel like crap because, as an animal lover, I'm like, oh man, that sucks. I don't want to see that, And the thing is, whenever I see an animal in a horror film, though, it doesn't shock me anymore. It doesn't shock people anymore because now we expect it because it's happened so many times. So now the whole intended purpose of it is gone. Mm-hmm. So why are people still doing it? Now when it happens, you're like, okay, I saw that coming from a mile away. And not only did I see it coming from a mile away, it didn't shock me at all. Now I'm just pissed off. Now I'm just annoyed. So now, even in good horror films, this shit happens. Like the Babadook, still. Stop doing it. As a matter of fact, in Hush, Mike Flanagan's home invasion film, which was basically just a giant middle finger to all these tropes, did a giant middle finger to this trope when he was about to kill the cat, and then the woman shot him with like a bow and arrow or something, and then stopped him from killing the cat.
I totally forgot about that scene.
Yes, that was a clear commentary on him saying, this trope is stupid, stop using it. Which that's what that whole movie was. Hush was a whole commentary about how these horror tropes are stupid and need to die. But that's a whole nother discussion.
So, again... Mm-hmm. I mistook it the wrong way. For some reason, all of your things have a double meaning to me. Okay. Anyway, I thought you were talking about as a cheap way of making people sad in a movie.
No, that too, though. That too. That cheap way of making people sad as well. Sometimes it works. I mean, it does get me if the movie itself is good. Like, spoiler alert, I guess, for these films, because indirectly, films like My Dog Skip and Hachi, I feel like that works because the story itself is good.
I got another one for you.
What up?
I Am Legend.
I Am Legend, yep. That's another one, dude. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of that cliche. It's a cheap way to make you sad. It's a cheap way to give shock value, and it pisses me off.
Let me tell you something.
Because I don't want to see a dog.
Because we actually just had this conversation yesterday with my boy Jacob.
Yeah.
Just because that happens, it does not make it a good movie.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm referring to I Am Legend in particular.
Oh, no, for sure.
So you made me cry. Okay, a movie can make you cry and be bad.
Yeah, no, that movie...
I've cried to bad movies all the time.
You know why it made you cry? Because it's a cheap tactic, and it works. And that's why they do it, because it works. And it's like... when someone kills a dog, it makes you hate that character. And I think one movie where it actually did kind of work was John Wick, because
It's a driving force.
It's a driving force, and it makes you want John Wick to get revenge on these people, and he fucking does. And you see these people get their comeuppance, which is great, But again, I'm sick of seeing the animals die in movies. Stop it, dude. It's a cheap fucking tactic, and I hate it. Stop it.
Now let me ask you a question, another scenario.
Yeah.
Now this is kind of a weird reference. Secret Window, when he can't remember the actor's name.
Johnny Depp?
No, the other one.
John Turturro?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
by the way, that's another It Was You cliche.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you know what movie I'm talking about. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he is threatening. He's like, you stole my story or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he kills the animal because it's like a threat or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does that kind of thing upset you?
Yeah, I just don't like it when it's used almost as any plot point. even when it's used at the end to get like a cry or whatever, that doesn't bother me as much as like the gratuitous shock value. But I get where you're coming from, because it is just a cheap tactic in general, no matter what. It's just something that is annoying, and I'm just like, this isn't needed. This just isn't needed. You know why? It's like, it's just a stupid cheap tactic, and I'm like, come on.
Okay.
You know. And then obviously the crazy religious person. I mean, you see this all the time. You see it in a lot of Stephen King movies. Children of the Corn, The Mist, even that freaking Wanough film. This is just annoying to me. Stop trying to portray, especially Christianity, as like this evil thing, and that the whole thing of like this organization takes the Bible, but it takes it in this direction and in this context and interprets it as evil and then commits all these evil acts. It's annoying. Like, stop doing that. We saw this in The Purge too. Like, this just happens all the time. Stop doing it, dude. Mm-hmm. It's super annoying. It's just super annoying. And I'm not even saying this as a man of faith. If I wasn't a man of faith, I would be annoyed too. Because I'm just like, enough. Like, I've seen this so many times. Stop trying to portray Christianity, which is like a good thing, as like, oh no, but, you know, it's evil because it's about, I don't know, tradition and fundamentalism, and that's a bad thing. I'm like, stop. Why is that a bad thing? Yeah, it's like, what is going on here? It's like, no, dude. The core of Christianity is about helping others and not killing. Thou shalt not kill.
Yeah.
That's literally one of the most important commandments of the Bible. So when you have these guys who are killing in the name of Jesus, it's like,
But actually, that's not how it works.
That's not how it works, cousin. Okay. And then people will be like, oh, but that's the point, though. But it's like, yeah, I get it. That's the point. It's supposed to, even if you're not necessarily going against Christianity, they're trying to make a compelling villain by doing that. Even something like Seven, it's like you're trying to make a compelling villain. Blah, 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 blah. But it's like, but dude, we've seen this so many times. So even if you are trying to make a compelling villain, can you do it in a different way that's not so blasphemous? Mm-hmm. It's annoying. It's annoying to me. So those are my two, tied for number one, hated cliches.
So I guess now that you mention it, I did kind of get a feel for that. Mm-hmm. My number one.
What's your number one?
Actually, you brought it up again, so I'm just gonna.
Go ahead.
Well, it's two different ones, but I mean it's the same thing. Okay. The medicine cabinet scare.
Yeah.
Fuck off, mate, dude.
Yeah.
That shit is so annoying. Yep. But yeah, it's the cat scare in horror movies.
Yep.
Not only is the cat becoming an annoying symbol, but it's a clear indicator that there's something else coming in 2 seconds. Mm-hmm. That sigh of relief hasn't been exhausted since I was like 10. Yeah. It's boring, typical, calm before the storm.
Yeah.
Lame.
So lame.
So
dude.
fucking lame.
The false jump scares need to stop.
Yeah, it really does.
So that was my number two, and that was your number one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how much it needs to stop.
I feel ya.
It needs to stop.
And I broke my phone. What the heck?
You broke your phone?
Oh, man. All right. So, yeah, that's our list. And that was a good list idea.